Oh wow, that's real dedication. Hi, Kai. Hi, Cream. Hello, hello. Yay, you're back in the council. The technically this is the real council room. The other room we're in is a, I'm not gonna say a sham, but it is it's a duplicate or something of that, something along those lines. Hello, Bean. Hello, Bean. Hi. How you doing? I don't know what else to say. Can give pats. Give pats for me. If it makes you feel any better, Kai, I also pulled myself out of a fic for this. Pulled myself out of a fic to do anything these days. Bean is deaf, so she can't hear me. Okay. I can't wave at her, so just give some pats for me. Bunch of washi tape on my desk that I'm probably never gonna use. To this channel, if the mid-chapter, mid-chapter, oh! Hi, Sally! To be fair, the, what I'm reading right now, the chapters are like 20k long because this author is insane, but, not first, SMH, yeah. Yeah, you've been dropping the ball, Sally. Kinda disappointed, honestly. I felt bad because I haven't been streaming. I felt bad because I haven't been streaming, but I'm like, I'm not even like physically tired right now because I'm fine. Comparatively, I'm not physically tired right now or mentally tired. I'm just lazy. I'm just like, I don't want to. I don't want to get up and do stuff. I have to talk to people throughout the entire day, and now I have to talk to. So next stream is Animal Jam. Yes, next stream will be Animal Jam. Let me. What day is the 30th? Because if, depending on the day, I might spring for just straight up doing it on the 30th. The 30th is a Monday. Don't want to stream on a Monday. I could stream on a Monday. Or I could do... I don't want to do Saturday. I could do Saturday. I'll just do... What if we just do... What if we just do a nice Tuesday stream that's the day after your birthday? For Nanimal Jam. Sally Shenanigans, Sally Slothman, what? Snail. I don't hate you. I'm just not very social. Tuesday stream would be wonderful. Nice. Okay, yeah, so the 31st January, the 31st we will be doing Nanimal Jam stream. Yeah. Okay. Let's get rid of my screens. I just updated OBS and now it looks different and I'm like, nothing changed. It just has a different UI and everything is round now and it's like, why is everything doing this? Why is everything becoming rounder? What happened to sharp edges? It's fine. It's fine. It's whatever. It's fine. Jesus, that's bright. I'm sorry. Turn it down. Turn down the brightness. I can't control it. Wait, can I control it? I don't think I can. Graphics, others. Run background. No, I cannot. I'm going for chill stream vibes today, guys. So, yeah, that's what we're doing. We're going for chill stream vibes. And quiet voice. I'm gonna try not to be loud, because I don't want to be loud. No, not really a particular reason, I just don't want to be loud today. Also, I've been spending, again, all week, for the past 3 weeks, intermingling with people, and it is taking its toll. I don't even spend, I fully, during lunch, go off and hide somewhere in the building by myself. Since when am I loud? I've been loud. I'm loud sometimes. my point is, I I truly have been just disappearing because like I'm friends approximately with a bunch of people in my program. We're just loud most always. Sometimes, sometimes. Um, my point is, I'm friends with people in my program, but I disappear during lunch and breaks and stuff, and do my best to not interact with them, with anyone. Just like I should just disappear as much as possible. Cause gosh golly guys, I, fully like I show up to class, I have my headphones on, and I just stare into space, get my on my phone as soon as class starts. I'm like, yes, I'm a real person. Please don't look into it too hard. But like, it's a lot. Yes, gosh golly. Okay. It's an effect of both being in college and in a trade. But everyone swears and swears quite a bit. Well, not everyone, and not, but like more so than what I'm, I guess, used to, either at my when I was at university / in my everyday life of interacting with adultier adults. You know, people swear a lot more. Which is funny, but which is fine, like fine, honestly, you know, it's fine. But as we all know, I don't really swear. I think this is a reaction to it. Me harkening back to even less swears, which is kind of funny. But it's the youths love to swear. I'm talking about full, like, 30, 40, 50, 60, kind of, because I'm talking about the other students as well as my instructors, because this is a open college program, and some of them are, like, full adults with children, like, like families and stuff, and it's pretty cool, actually. A lot of people in the groups. They're generally like a really cool bunch, youth-minded, sure. Yeah, they're honestly really cool. Making friends. We're put into groups to do like work on our climbing and stuff. And I'm part of group 3, otherwise known as group tree because puns are fun. And they're all really cool. They're all really nice. We spent a lot of time hanging out because there's only so many trees in the area we're given to climb on at one time, so we like sometimes people will stand around and watch you climb, or like offer advice and stuff, and we stand around and talk and things like that, and they're all really cool. It's just really nice. I'm very happy about this program. It's really, it's like, it's so much better than what I was doing before, and I'm not sad about it. It makes me very excited. So that it was a very good choice, as far as I'm concerned, on what I'm doing with my life. But yeah, I've been having a good time, guys. I'm still horribly unsocial, and I think that's just part of me as a person. It's like, oh yeah, no, I'd like to talk to people and be friends. But again, bad at this. Severely not a social person. I don't know if you noticed, considering the lack of responses I have in my Discord server, talking to people so hard. No, it's not even that. Like, I'm pretty good at talking to people in a general sense. Like, I'm pretty good at conversations. I just am not good at wanting to talk to people. I don't want to be around people. let me okay, so how my week is scheduled, let me just glug first. Nice cold water. But how my week is scheduled is, Monday, it's basically 8 hours of climbing, quote unquote. It's from 8 a.m. to, it should be till 4. I'm sitting up straight. It should be till 4, but it's kind of iffy because oh, by the way, we still have the game up. The game is still up because I don't believe anyone got the word last time, even though I accidentally said half of it. But we have that word up, and also there's a second word up because I put that up during last stream and I didn't take it down, so there's 2 words technically. Anyway, it's supposed to be from 8 till 4, with like breaks for lunch, but it's kind of an iffy thing because it's a very physical task, and if you need breaks to just kind of like not move or to go on a walk and like get a coffee or something, because we're outside and it's not like super cold, but if you're standing around outside for hours on end, it will get cold. What am I saying? Yeah, so it's like there's unofficial breaks. What's that? What is that? We have a friend in the water. I'll look back later. But yeah, they'll take like unofficial breaks just because sometimes you need it, man. And also to just not move because you're tired. Cause God, climbing is a lot. It's just a lot. And I'm physically weak. I'm getting all the motions down, and I can climb trees. I was climbing one of the tests was called Axis and Canopy, and it was us climbing a pine tree, and pine trees are pretty easy because they have so many branches, and you had to finish the chapter. Good for you. I was also climbing trees as a youth, but now we're doing safety things so that we don't die, because this is a very dangerous industry. And I knew that going in, but now I learned that it's even more dangerous than I thought it would be. It's a very safe, what we're doing is pretty safe anyway. I've gotten fully distracted. Anyway, it's technically 8 hours of climbing on Mondays, but we usually end around 3:30. Hello, Zink. I'm talking about my week. How you doing? You've never climbed a tree before? Yeah, you're missing out, dude. Woo! And on Tuesdays, technically, it should be chainsaw class. However, at the moment, we're not doing chainsaw class because climbing is kind of an important, yes, okay, technically it's arborist hand tools, but we all know it is chainsaw class because it's mostly about chainsaw, also using like chippers and stuff. We call it chainsaw class because it's basically chainsaw class. We're learning how to use it. You get to cut up trees? Yes, we get to climb with chainsaws on our belts and cut trees in the air. It's cool. That is the job I'm going into. It is very dangerous and very cool. I'm getting distracted. Stop distracting me. Or keep distracting me. Chainsaw class is supposed to be on Tuesdays, but we've been taking Tuesdays to do, more climbing because we have to get like the basics of climbing down before they can kind of let us free into the forest and let us climb things, just for like safety reasons, to know that to make sure that if they don't look at us for 5 seconds we won't die, which is the explanation they use, which is why we're doing tests. Like we did a friction saver test and a axis and the canopy test, and then a knots test, just because there's like basic knots where we've been using for climbing. We have to make sure we know that. Friction saver, it's like a piece of like heavy duty. It is fabric. It's like heavy duty, and there's like rings on the end of it, and you put your rope through the rings so that the rope rubs against the metal of the rings instead of the tree, just so you don't burn holes into, or yeah, burn lines into the tree and things like that. It's to save the tree from Briction. We had tests like that so we can climb without needing eyes on us at all times. Anyway, chainsaw classes after that, or it's supposed to be on Tuesdays. We haven't done that yet. It will be next week. Next week is the first chainsaw class we get. It was supposed to be this week. Your brain's starting to not comprehend sentences. That's fine. That's fine. I'm just talking. I'm going for bridge to sleep to fall asleep to. Honestly, that's the vibes I'm going for right now. But yeah, go to sleep. Yeah, so we were doing the tests. We were supposed to have it last week, but we were also last week. Yeah, last week we were supposed to be in a different city essentially to climb, and that didn't pan out because of municipality issues. You won't out of spite, of course you won't. Anyway, there's been issues with municipalities and they won't let us climb, even though it'd be cool if we could. So we gotta wait and wait to do it. Well, we're climbing and cutting things in a private park because technically you're not allowed to climb things publicly. It's a whole thing. People do it anyway. It has a narcoleptic effect. I've been told that. I actually missed what you said. A fear of even small heights took me a long time to be able to make it way up a climbing wall. Yeah. There are a few boring bridge arc. I'm always boring. There are a few people in my class who have a fear of heights, which is a hilarious notion to me as someone who doesn't have a fear of heights. Just because it's like, why are you here? It's like, that's really cool. What are you doing? Okay, yeah, sorry, I'm getting so distracted. So, chainsaw class. We'll be doing chainsaw class. I'm excited for that, because I don't have any skills with chainsaw. The Tyrannosaurus Rex. Nice. We were making a bunch of tree puns, when we were doing our climbing. So, I appreciate that. That's quite funny. That's quite fun. Lots of puns. So stupid. There's so many tree puns. Wednesday we have, it's not even a half day, we have like a 2-hour class. Is it a 2-hour class or is it like a 2 and 45-minute hour class? When's it? It's 11:40 to 2:20? Something, yeah, I think. That's my Wednesday class. And then that's the only thing I have that day, which means I can wake up late and go home early. It's great. Because I think I've mentioned this. I live 15 minutes away from my college. But yeah, that was yesterday, and on Thursday, and that class is theory, which I don't know what theory refers to in terms of it's called arborist theory, but I don't know what it refers to, considering so many of our classes are like the same. We go over really similar stuff, and it's not been clarified for me. Thursdays we have science, arborist science, which is like tree biology and stuff, which is fun. I like tree biology. I think it's interesting. It's probably the majority of the reason I joined this program, just because I like science aspect. But yeah, that's fun. Tree guts, sort of. We were talking about like cells and stuff. What makes up a tree. It's weirdly enough, everything goes back to the safety aspect of it. Not weirdly. Again, this is a very dangerous job. And then on Thursdays, we have tree theory on Wednesdays. Thursdays we have tree theory in the morning. We have like a 2-hour class of tree theory in the morning. Same teacher. It's the same class. It's just split into 2 things. I don't know. It's fine. Whatever. And then after that, after that we have tree science, like I said, and that's Thursday. So I have 2 classes on Thursday, and on Friday I also have 2 classes. It starts out with tree identification, which is the same teacher as my tree science class, but specifically for identification, and it's a really weird mashup of classes. This is a 2 and 45-minute class as well, or something like that. I don't know. The class schedules are weird in this. The class schedules are so weird. Yes, it's called Tree ID, which is fun. And then we have, what do we have after that? And then we have an entire class that is health and safety, because it is a very dangerous job, and dying is very, very likely. I think the statistic was like, it's like the 3rd deadliest or something like that job in Canada, or possibly the deadliest. I don't know, remember. I just remember the number 3, but it could be for something else. You look at my eyes with such fear that to an pure devoid of common sense. Jesus. Hey Cream, you should write a romance novel for the fun of it, but like a satirical romance novel that is in fact very romantic. I think it'd be fun. I think you'd be very good at it. Oh, right. This week we get to watch the we get to go through the the very scary PowerPoint in our health and safety class. We were talking, I don't know if I mentioned this, my teacher for health and safety is/was a firefighter, as well as an arborist. You were writing a noir romancing in your head a few nights ago. Write it, that'd be fun. But yeah, my health and safety teacher was/is a firefighter and was doing health and safety, or no, he was doing chainsaw training for firefighters, and he put together a PowerPoint of chainsaw injuries, and he said that he was showing it to them, but it got too gruesome for them, so he had to stop, but he's gonna show it to us, which I'm quite excited for, because I'm a sicko. I think it'd be fun. I might not be thinking of that. Yeah, I might not be thinking that in a few hours. Tomorrow, when we have that class. But, yeah, no, that's what I remember so far. It's funny, because most of my classes talks about health and safety, and then we have an additional health and safety class. It's like, well, at least I know they don't want me dead. They seem to be quite concerned about us dying, which is fair, which is very fair. Everyone seems to have a story about, like, yeah, this person that I knew straight up died because of an incident that happened. Not an accident, because accidents don't really happen, but an incident that occurred, and it's not a good thing. It's like, yeah, I would think not. Oh, that's horrible. Like, people going through chippers, a guy having a hole punched through the center of his palm, like degloving incidents, falling out of trees, having things dropped on, like 800-pound pieces of wood dropped on your head, kind of thing, or smushing you flat. Like, a lot of things that would kill you very quickly. And everyone seems to have, like, a story of not necessarily them getting hurt. Well, a lot of people have stories of them getting hurt as well, but, like, can I not turn this into... Oh, no, I can't, because the thing's there. Yeah, it's not necessarily stories of them getting hurt, or... What was I saying? they have stories of themselves getting hurt, because almost everyone has been hurt who's actually done this, and like my classmates as well, but also people that they know or that they worked with, or that like people that they've worked with have known, like people dying or getting brutally injured and things like that. It's like, wow, yeah, that's a okay. Should probably deter me more than it does, but you know. I'm kind of bad at taking care of my own health, so it's fine. It's fine. Nothing is gonna happen to me. Just stop streaming one. I shouldn't jinx it. Yeah, I've been having fun with that. My classes are really cool. We were doing in arborist sciences, we were talking about, oh, this is gonna go nowhere. Cool. We were talking about like plant cell and what goes on in them and stuff like that. And I could vaguely remember, I could remember a bunch of things from my like biology classes I took in high school. I was talking about them and I was right, and it made me feel really cool. Because I kept getting things correct. That's not where I wanted to put that. No. Oh. Wait, did it make a land bridge? It didn't. Oh, this is just fully. Alright. But yeah, that's how my week has been going. Weeks. In my climbing class, I'm like not sore, because it's weird. The climbing class, it's a lot of physical activity, but it's like high intensity, but not a lot. I don't know if that makes sense. And it's also like cold outside. It's like my body is sore, but not in the way that it's usually sore after working out. And it's really weird. It's a weird feeling. No, that's it. I don't know how to explain it. It's just really strange. Oh, that's what that is. Sure, we'll put this there. Then we can connect this here. Oh, we cannot. That'll kill me. Alright, it won't kill me, but it's fine. It'll be mad at me. But there's like a lot of funny, weird techniques that people use to get up trees. One of them is called footlocking, and that one's actually, it's not easy, but it's not like desperately hard. It's not like really, really difficult to do. I can manage it. We have to be able to do it in, we have to make it up it's like 35 feet in 5 minutes. Or, well, not in 5 minutes, but like max like 9 minutes, 10 minutes. And considering the fact that I don't move I'm short, my legs don't go very far, and it is like a lot of energy usage used up. And I'm physically very weak, because it is arms and legs at the same time, and it's a lot. It's a lot of work. Considering this, I am not confident I'll be able to do it anytime soon. There's a lot of technique involved that makes it a lot less physical labor, I guess you could say. And I figured that out on Tuesday more, because I tried it out on Monday, and then I was actually figuring some stuff out on Tuesday. And I learned more of the technique, and I got it down a lot better, and I got a lot faster at it. But I'm still like, I have to take a break every 2 foot locks. Again, I don't know how do you talk about this? But like every I have to like take a break and give myself a rest, because I'm like but it's fun. I'm enjoying myself, which I think is the more important thing. Because I don't want us to fail. Like, they truly don't. They want us to do well and have more people into this industry and stuff, and doing it safely. But it's just it's a lot. Yeah, and I'm doing really well in my classes so far, according to advanced tree climbing techniques. Yeah, and I'm doing like, okay, it's not like fully old school, but I'm doing, I guess it's like pretty manual stuff, because there's a bunch of new fancy toys that people use, like foot ascenders, which is I don't know what it would be considered, but it's like it's a thing you put on your boot, and then you attach it to your to your rope, and then instead of having to foot lock, it just holds you on the rope, or it holds onto the rope for you, and then you can just kind of just walk your way up or climb your way up. They'd be like, woo, and jump around in circles around a climbing instructor. Yeah. It's really cool. Yeah, there's a lot of... We have to learn how to do the less toy... The toyless method. The, without fancy gadgets method. For... I guess safety reasons, but also because it's expensive. This is a lot of money. I spent a lot of money already on this course. Hello, Kuzo. Hi. I spent a lot of money already on this course, and getting more things, getting more toys would be more money that I do technically have, but I would like to save because I do not have a job yet, and it's not even like I could probably get a job even at the moment, because I'm well, I could get a job. I'm being dramatic. I could get a job. I'm technically a full-time student, but I could get a part-time job. But then I'd have to like apply to part-time jobs, and I hate applying for jobs. And I'd rather do this. It's not like I have like homework or anything. I get like a weekend job. I don't want to get a job though, guys. It's the problem. It's my problem. I am lazy. Anyway, yeah, they have to teach us the poor man's method of climbing trees. There's another technique they were showing us called hip thrust that I fundamentally cannot do, because it is mostly arms. What's it called? Footlock is mostly legs, and hip thrust is mostly arms. Contrary to the name, it is mostly arms, which is horrible because my arms are weak and my boots slip like crazy. Partially because it's been raining a bunch, but mostly because my stupid boots are bad. My boots suck. My boots are bad, guys. They're not very good. They're not very good at all. And they don't like me. And they slip on trees and I can't get any traction and I just fall. Or I slip around and it's embarrassing. But it's fine. Everything is fine, guys. Everything is okay. Yeah, I just need to get that flag. Need so many trees for that. Okay. Anyone have any idea what I was talking about? God, I forgot how much work it is to do stuff and also think at the same time. How are y'all? Can we switch gears instead of me talking about me? How's it been going with you guys? Not a very high score. Try again. What's been going on with y'all? How BB? Or just have a conversation amongst yourselves. My little houses. So pretty. I have a really zoomed in version of this. You can see all the little details. Little shrubs and ginormous pots compared to how big the people would be in this. It brought us together once more, and thus I am as good as can be. I should do, what is it? I should do a reading. I should read for the book club again at some point. No reason, I just think it'd be fun. I keep hitting you. Move back. I haven't done reading in a while. Or writing. Honestly, I've been a terrible club leader. Not that I'm a club leader of book club. I'm just saying, aside from that, I've been a terrible club leader. Who cares? My club is the council room, and I run it well enough. I don't know. I stream. Guys, I streamed. What else do you want from me? Back to work next week, I think, woes me. What are you doing for work? I don't remember what you do. I don't know if I've ever known what you've done. What you do. What do you do? I don't remember what this biome is. Sakura. That's what it is. Oh yeah, I chose the pretty ones. Don't worry about it. Okay, never mind. Train. Oh, that's why they look like this. They're Asian inspired. But anyway. Through the dog tour, she gave me a big old scare. Oh. Well, as long as she's alright now. Is she alright now? Or is she still, ill? You also must participate in the inevitable labor of society. Yeah. You guys are getting paid, though. You guys have money. I, on the other hand, am unable to afford things. Recuperating? Okay, good for her. I do afford things though, but I cannot make more money. I do not have access to expanding my funds. I keep complaining about it and then not doing anything about it. I really should do something about it. I'm not going to. Now, at least. But I'm gonna think about it. Of which is something I possess. Oof. Yeah, I feel that. I feel that. It's fine. It's fine. I live at home. I don't actually need money. And I don't really buy things. I don't purchase all that much. I own a bunch of things because I am... Hello, Sally. I am bad at not buying things. I really should be better at it. But I am a slave to capitalism, as we all are aware. So I have many things, and many things would be very cool. And more things would be very cool, I mean. My class is talking about, or my, yeah, I guess my class, is talking about making, like, class hoodies, or getting class hoodies, which would be very cool. I think would be very cool, and I would like to participate in such tradition and buy one. I could probably coerce my mom into paying for it, to be completely honest. It's not my fault she still treats me like I'm a child. I'm gonna take advantage of it. It is a benefit to me. Oh well. How have you guys been? No one answered my question. What's been going on with your lives? So this is not just, I guess technically it's always just the bridge show, but yeah, come on, tell me about what's happening with you guys. Give me some gossip from you guys. Stop. Get away from my mouth, or my face. Go away. Sorry, my microphone is so close to my head. It should be, because that's where you get my voice, but I keep hitting it. Sorry about that. But yeah, please someone tell me about something their lives, or I will just keep talking about nothing. I always talk about nothing, but you know. Branch? Brinch? Bringe? What? So is no one gonna share, or no one wants to share with me? You've been thinking about getting a violin. What? I thought you were thinking about getting did you get a trumpet already? I have to know. I have to know if you've betrayed my trust. Violin is fine. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I can live with you getting a violin. You don't have anything happy to share? You don't. It doesn't have to be a happy thing to share if you don't mind. Think about a lot of things. Okay, as long as it's. I need to know if you ever do participate in a new instrument. Don't worry about the trumpet. I'm worried about the trumpet. I'm always worried about people succumbing to the trumpet, to be completely honest. It doesn't have to be happy things. We can talk about anything. I don't really mind. But yeah. We're just trying to have a conversation, you know. Because I do not offer riveting gameplay in the slightest. Why would anyone go for a trumpet? You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. We've lost many a good musician to the trumpet. Moment of silence for fallen comrades. Sorry, that's so stupid, but it's so funny to me. Because it's true. There are 3 wind instruments in my room at this time. Oh god, no. Oh no, which ones? Oh no. You've deleted TikTok and now your life is being consumed by mobile games? What kind of mobile games? I have to know which wind instruments. That's like of vital importance to me. I need to judge you. Or not necessarily judge you. I need to know what. Just what. And I also want to know what mobile games, because that's important to me as well. Very addictive. Vampire Survivors. Oh, my body has started to adapt to the amount of sleep I've been getting. Or at least the time periods of which I need to be awake. So I've been waking up at 7 a.m. We're back to being up early in the morning again, guys, even when I don't need to be. Like yesterday, I woke up at, what? Oh, there you go. Yesterday I woke up at 7:16, I believe it was. But I had to be up at, or my class is at 11 and I live 15 minutes away and I go early anyway, so I have to just leave. I have to leave by 11. I leave by 11 o'clock so I can get there early. Because I want to be there early. Make sure I get my seat. But, like, I woke up at 7:16. I have an alarm set for 9 o'clock, which still gives me like 2 hours before I have to leave. So I was really waking up way too early. And this morning, I woke up for some reason. I went to bed at like 10. I usually try to go to bed around 11:30, so I have 6 hours of sleep before I have to get up for my morning classes, or something around that. But I went to bed at like 10 something, I think, and then I woke up at 2 a.m. I went back to sleep afterwards, but it sucked. It's always uninterrupted sleep sucks the most. Pokemon Go, Pack of Pets, My Universe, Legends, Slime, and Do You Like Nonograms? I have no clue what most of those are. You'll have to tell me about them. And this is me engaging you in conversation to continue, to continue to have more things to talk about. But yeah, I was trying melatonin because I was having trouble sleeping and I wanted to actually get to sleep before my classes because I had been going to sleep at like 2 a.m. and then waking up in the middle of the day, and I couldn't do that to get to my classes. So I'd been trying melatonin, and when I started it, I was waking up at like 4 a.m. and I was like, this sucks and is not helpful in any way, shape, or form, and I really need to sleep longer. And I was blaming on the melatonin. I was like, yeah, okay, so it doesn't let me sleep. It gets me to sleep faster, but I don't sleep for very long, which isn't very helpful. But I don't think that's true, because I've been sleeping without it, and I'm still waking up weirdly. It is better without the melatonin. When I can get to sleep on time, which has actually been pretty regular, but I think I'm just exhausted from interacting with people all of the time. Oh, I should have turned that. Oh well. Yeah, I've been actually getting sleep. But I still wake up early when I don't need to, and it's like, well, that sucks. Yeah, it's unfortunate. That's also like a bad time. It's not fun. Anyway, on the violin, I went to get one because I heard like 5 really good violin tunes and I can't play them on the guitar, nor the piano, nor the unspecified wind instruments. So I simply must acquire violin. It is only logical. Yeah, and then you have to learn how to play the violin. Which is notoriously like a pissy instrument. It's notoriously a pissy instrument. Hello, Sally. Thoughts on the ukulele? Very Caucasian? It's not, though. It isn't. A violin is pretty Caucasian, to be honest. Well, in origin, you know. Ukulele is one of them appropriated things. You know, you know how it is. One of them culturally appropriated things. Although not really, but the vibes of, you know, the vibes. Hello, Kai. Welcome back. It depends on what you play on it, yeah. Well, like, for example, the violin is... Oh, where was the violin invented, actually? Let me check. Violin origin. Italy. It's Italian. Okay. So the violin is Italian, but a lot of Asian people play the violin. That's just how it be. But it is, you know, it's Italian. It's an Italian instrument from the Italy. If you do rap covers of ukulele, I have the worst for you and your bloodline both ways. Funny. Past and future. You need more than 20 minutes of sleep, it's fine, everything is fine. That's not how sleeping works generally. It can be if you do essentially train your body to understand that amount of sleep. But then you need more nap. You can do 20 minutes of sleep, but you will need more naps. Then you'll need to do it sleep more often. But again, that is something you have to prepare yourself to deal with, and it takes a while. Like any kind of redoing of your sleep schedule, it takes a while to fix into yourself. It is again something you can technically do, but you gotta give it time. Feel my head aching, but it's fine because stream. That's how it works. You physically feel a headache. Yes. I mean, there are like mental headaches. No, generally no, but yes, I guess you could say there are mental headaches. But yeah, a headache is oftentimes physical. You should get actual sleep. So, Shana, if that's what you're used to, you should get actual sleep. Changing of your sleep schedule is always going to be bad and feel not good until you get used to it. And then it'll feel okay, and then it'll feel like you're doing things correctly. But if you're constantly changing it, you will never get a good night's sleep, ever. Ever again. I look up, I get a dizzy spell. Yeah, that's not good. I get that from standing too fast, but that might just be because my blood is bad. You know, the blood I have. Good night, Kai. Night night. And sometimes I get it from turning my head. I don't know if that's actually from turning my head or if I'm remembering something wrong. But it's okay. It's alright. Things happen. What are we talking about? What are we discussing? Used to get dizzy sitting down. Vertigo. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes your body betrays you. When I was a youth and refused to eat, that'll do it. Also, not enough water, not enough salt, not enough carbs or other vitamins. You can subsist on proteins and fats and stuff, but generally you want to have a bunch of stuff in your body. A bunch of different stuffs. A lot of different thingies. Lots in you at a time. Being a youth and not eating is not good. I don't think I've been a youth and not eating, but I've been a youth and not liking foods. And that's not fun. Eating is stressful, guys. Going out is stressful. It's pretty crazy how essential good proper sleep is for both your mood and your health. Okay, maybe not that crazy, but it's very significant. If you want to be happier, sleep properly, eat and exercise. Like, what? Yeah, it's funny how taking care of your body takes care of your body. I think it's a really fun thing to learn as you grow up, that your body isn't just like a thing you exist in, but is actually like something you have to do stuff about. Like, you have to take care of it and watch out for it and make sure it doesn't hurt itself, because it'll try to hurt itself. Or maybe that's just that's just my body is unruly and untrustworthy. You shouldn't trust me. I shouldn't trust me. Are actually right. Well, yeah, yeah. They should be wrong. They're wrong in, honestly, the delivery of it. And also people will say exercise, and not explain how or what could possibly, like, what is meant by that. Yeah, they won't explain how it's supposed to help you or what it's supposed to do, or like what you can do if you don't have a lot of energy. Because there's a lot of, a big part of it is like, just because people were made to move and to do things. Like, the human body was created and designed to exist and to do jobs and stuff. And so doing things with your body, funny enough, makes your body quite happy. You actually quite enjoy it. And in releases endorphins and stuff like that, because you have a built-in reward system for doing things. But it can be something as simple as like like a walk, like going outside. It doesn't have to be like actually what people think of as exercising. It can be something small and simple. It can be stretching. If you're in a really bad way, it can simply be getting up. Just getting really, truly getting up and going downstairs and going back upstairs. Can help and things like that. It's like, yeah, but the people who suck, who say, yeah, try exercising, it'll make you feel better, never talk about that. They're just like, yeah, no, just exercise. It's like, well, you can be more verbose about it. Do you get chemicals? Yes. And not fit in the cycle of metabolism. Yeah, I know. Yeah. There was an essay I read. It's from my book Essays Against Everything, which I think I know where it is. I think it's in one of my boxes. But I'm not sure because the boxes are closed, and when they're closed, I can't see what's in them, which is something that I don't realize until they're closed. But it's talking about how exercise has become such a social event, social activity, exercising and the result of exercising, it has become like a social thing. It's ceased to be something that is personal or private. And it made me like, I was thinking about that. I'm like, yeah, I hate the idea of exercising in front of other people. I don't think I could ever go to the gym because it's not even necessarily that I'd be embarrassed about it, although I think I would be embarrassed about it. It's simply the fact that I don't like being around other people. That is me. That is very much a me thing. But it did make me think about that. I was like, yeah, no, that's not fun. Being around other people kind of sucks sometimes. I don't actually remember the full contents of that. I should probably read that essay again. Because I don't remember what it was talking about. But I remember I liked the points it was making. Because I was like, yeah, that makes sense. I also don't like exercising to exercise. Working out state, they would see nothing but a sad, pathetic, sobbing soul. Let me see if I can find it. I wanna... It's actually pretty interesting. 1 second, I'll be back. My room is a mess. I'm not turning off the mic. You guys can hear me rustling around my room, it's fine. The box is spring-loaded. What are you? Walking mechanism? I have 2 boxes and they both close like with, there's like flaps on the front and they have like rings, and then there's little button slider thingies that you're supposed to have a key to open, like to unlock. One of them is spring loaded and the other one isn't. So one of them's much easier to get open. Friend outing to gym. I probably wouldn't actually show up to that because I don't like friend outing. Or I don't like the gym. Let me see if I can find... Yeah, it's Essays Against Everything Against Exercise. This is the preface. Preface. Modern exercise makes you acknowledge the machine operating inside yourself. Nothing can make you believe we harbor nostalgia for factory work but a modern gym. The lever of the die press no longer commands us at work, but with the gym we import vestiges of the leftover equipment of industry to our leisure. We leave the office, put the conveyor belt under our feet, and run as if chased by devils. We willingly submit our legs to the mangle and put our stiffening arms to the press. Yeah, so it's just about like how modern day exercising has been made, like it has been made a work, basically has been made social and a work thing, and no longer about basically doing it for the purposes of what our bodies want, which is moving and doing things, but as a necessity for like being respectable and stuff like that. I don't actually remember if that's what it is, but that's what I'm pretty sure it is. I don't know, it's very sweet. If I just read this, what if I just stop playing Dorfromantik and just read this? Would you guys mind? I just read this essay out loud. 2004. Almost as old as I am. Hey. Here, let me. I'll put a bridge on screen. Let me see if I can. I don't remember which bridge is which. There's that bridge. Which one? Which is the other one? That's the other one. Here, we'll put this one on screen. That's fine. No, wrong one. Rib. Rib is in the background. Oh, it's very large, that's why. I feel like reading, so we're reading. If it was a VTuber, this would be much more interesting. Why is it looking at me like that? Only if you put a funny picture. I am the funny picture. Sorry, you have to watch me read. And put our stiffening arms to the press. It is crucial that the machines are simple. The inclined planes, pins, levers, pulleys, locks, winches, racks, and belts of the Nautilus and aerobic machines put earlier stages of technical progress at our disposal in miniature. The elements are visible and intelligible for our use, but not dangerous to us. Displaced, neutralized, they are traces of a necessity that no longer need be met with forethought or ingenuity. A farmer once used a pulley, cable, and bar to lift his roof beam. You now use the same means to work your lats. Today, when we assume our brains are computers, the image of Machine Man, whether it's Descartes, or I can't read names. Descartes or Lemaitre has an old and venerable quality, like a yellowed poster on the infirmary wall. Blood pressure is hydraulics, strength is mechanics, nutrition is combustion, limbs are levers, joints are ball and sockets. The exercise world does not make any notable conceptual declaration that we are mechanical men and women. We already were that, at least as far as our science is concerned. Rather, it expresses a will on the part of each and every individual to discover and regulate the machine-like processes in his own body. And we go to this hard labor with no immediate reward but our freedom to do it. Precisely this kind of freedom may be enough. Exercise machines offer you the superior mastery of subjecting your body to experimentation. We hide our reasons for undertaking this labor and thoughtlessly substitute a new necessity. No one asks whether we want to drag our lives across a threshold into the kingdom of exercise. Me when I need to draw for bridge, but I only get random spurts of art brains. Yeah, you owe me a new emote. I will pay you for it. You owe me a new emote anyway. Exercise is no choice. It comes to us as an emissary from the realm of biological processes. It falls under the jurisdiction of the obligations of life itself, which only the self-destructive neglect. Our controversial future is supposed to depend on engineered genes, brain scans, neuroscience, laser beams. About those things, we have loud, public, sterile debates, while the real historic changes are accomplished on a gym's vinyl mats, to the sound of a flywheel and a ratcheted inclined plane. In the gym, you witness people engaging in a basic biological process of self-regulation. All of its related activities reside in the private realm. The question then is why exercise doesn't say private. It could have belonged at home with other processes it resembles: eating, sleeping, defecating, cleaning, grooming, masturbating. Exerciser, what do you see in the mirror gym wall? You make the faces associated with pain, with tears, with orgasm, with the sort of exertion that would call others to your immediate aid. But you do not hide your face. You groan as if pressing on your bowels. You repeat grim labors as if mopping the floor. You huff and you shout and strain. You appear in tight, shapeless lycra costumes. These garments reveal the shape of genitals and the mashed and bandaged breasts to others' eyes without acknowledging the lure of sex. Though we get our word gymnasium from the Greeks. Yes, masturbating. Not me, stay safe though. I only know asexuals and reluctant allosexuals, that's it. And then people who have sex, that's it. Which is all people, apparently. Very funny though. Anyway. Though we get our word gymnasium from the Greeks, our modern gym is not in their spirit. Athletics in the ancient institution were public and agnostic. They consisted of the training of boys for public contests. The gymnasium was closest to what we know as a boxing gym, with the difference that it was also the place adult men gathered to admire the most beautiful boys, and in the Athenian fashion, sexually mentor them. It was the preeminent place to promote the systematic education of the young, and for adults to carry on casual debates among themselves. In ancient Greece, everything was about the casual debate. Anyway. That wasn't part of the thing. That was the point I was making. In ancient Greece, everything was about the casual debate. Femboy Conditioning Center. This is a very fun book, by the way. To promote systematic education of young and for adults to carry on casual debates among themselves, modeling the intellectual sociability separated from overt politics that is the origin of Western philosophy. Socrates spent most of his time in gymnasia. Aristotle began his philosophical school in the covered walkways of gymnasium. Another thing that was very Greek was being everything at once. Being, like, fit as hell, and also smart, and also good at debating, and, like, doing all the things. Anyway. The Socratic and Peripatetic methods would find little support in a modern gym. What we moderns do there belonged to mute privacy. The Greeks put their genuinely private acts into a location, and oikos, the household. To the household belonged all the acts that sustain a bare biological life, that include the labor of keeping up a habitation and a body, growing food and eating it, bearing children and feeding them. Hannah Arendt, I can't pronounce names, interpreted the strong Greek distinction of the household from the public world as a symbol of a general truth, that it is necessary to keep the acts which sustain naked life away from the other's observation. A hidden sphere, free from scrutiny, makes its foundation for a public person, someone sure enough in his privacy to take the drastic risks of public life, to think, to speak against others' wills, to choose with utter independence. In privacy alone, this one's family, the dominating necessity and speechless appetites can be gratified in the numb thought and ache of staying alive. Our gym is better named a health club, except that it is no club for equal meetings of members. It is the atomized space in which one does formally private things before others' eyes, with the lonely solitude of a body acting as if it were still in private. One tries out these contortions to undo and remake a private life, and if the watching others aren't entitled to approve, some imagined aggregate other does. Modern gym exercise moves biology into the non-social company of strangers. You're supposed to coexist but not look closely, wipe down the middle of handlebars and rubber of mats as if you had not left a trace. As in the elevator, you expected to face forward. It is like a punishment for a liberation. Most onerous forms of necessity, the struggle for food against disease, always by means of hard labor, have been overcome. What is this? What have you pinned? How have you pinned something? What is this? What did you do? I understand that you are a mod. I have no problems with gender, but sometimes I wish I could be a femboy and the middle school boy and experience the male bond between two people who have been friends for years and be tall and strong and have people look up to me simply because I am a man. Yeah. Yeah. I'm reading an essay. I have unpinned it, that's fine. I'm reading an essay. God, to be a male character in any piece of media that is a hit among young teenage females with an incredibly strong bond to another male lead, that is not strictly platonic, but not platonic, but like, you know, to be one of those characters. Chat is having a time. I don't know. they're getting fun. Where was I? I'm sorry, I'm getting stressed. I have to finish this. I'm probably not gonna finish the entire essay. Should I just read the entire essay? This is gonna take a while. It might just be the rest of the stream. What if I just make the rest of the stream me reading an essay? We'll do that. You know what? I feel like this is my rules. Do we have a reading? Read and learn Bible? There's a read and learn Bible category? I'm gonna this is reading fun. I'm gonna rename this to essay reading with game in background that I'm not playing. Not playing. There we go. We'll rename this from height and strength. Stretch? Damn it. Okay, fine. I'll do a quick stretch. This kind of fact, men, characters in media do get treated like baby girls in comparison to the sexualization of anything female. Yeah. Anyway, stretchy time. I said nothing about height and strength. I just some days desire to be a character. Anyway, encompass himself with their whole body. There's inherent gentleness in someone who's bigger than you, treating you with the softness of a newborn chick. Yeah. Anyway, let me finish my essay. God damn it. It might have been naive to think the new human freedom would push us toward a society of public pursuits, like Proclean Athens, or of simple delights in what exists as in Eden. But the true payoff of a society that chooses to make private freedoms and private leisures its main substance has been much more unexpected. This payoff is a set of forms of bodily self-regulation that drag the last vestiges of biological life into the light as a social attraction. I am also lost in what chat is doing. That's a god tier. They are stopping new neural pathways as we speak. Yeah. Anyway. That water is sweet. Why is it sweet? It's fine. Kuso's having fun. Anyway. The only truly essential pieces of equipment in modern exercise are numbers. Whether at the gym or on the running path, rudimentary calculation is the fundamental technology. As the weights that one lifts are counted, so are distances run, time exercised, heart rates elevated. The simple negative test of whether an activity is modern exercise is to ask whether it can be done meaningfully without counting or measuring. In sports, numbers are used differently. There, scores are a way of recording competition as in a social encounter. Forms of exercise that do away with mechanical equipment, as running does, cannot do away with this. In exercise, one gets the sense of one's body as a collection of numbers representing capabilities. The other location where an individual's numbers attain such talismanic status is the doctor's office. There is a certain seamlessness between all the places where exercise is done and the sites where people are tested for illnesses, undergo repairs, and die. In the doctor's office, the blood lab, and the hospital, you are at the mercy of counting experts. A lab technician in a white coat takes a sample of blood. A nurse tightens a cuff on your arm, links you to an EKJ. Ugh! I like reading and then figure out my mouth doesn't work. Links you to an EKJ. EKG. Ugh! EKG. I keep saying J. EKG takes the basic measurements of your height and weight, never to your satisfaction. She rewards you with the obvious numbers for blood pressure, body fat ratio, weight, height, and weight. The clipboard with your numbers is passed. At last, the doctor takes his seat, a mechanic who wears the white robe of an angel and is as arrogant as a boss. In specialist language, exasperating your dread and expectation, you may learn your numbers for cholesterol, 2 types, your white cells, your iron, immunities, your analysis, and so forth. He hardly needs to remind you that these numbers correlate with your chances of survival. How do we acquire the courage to exist as a set of numbers? Turning to the gym or the track, you gain anxious freedom to count yourself. What a relief it can be. Here are numbers you can change. You make the exercises and trials you perform upon matter within reach, the exterior armor of your fat and muscle. You are assured these numbers too, and not only the black marks in the doctor's files will correspond to how long you have to live. With willpower and sufficient discipline, that is, the straightening of yourself to a rule, you will be changed. I swear I can read these with a natural flow to them. I just struggle when doing it out loud. Or maybe this is just how I always sound. I have no clue. It feels unnatural. The gym resembles a voluntary hospital. Its staff members are also its patients. Some machines put you in a traction you can escape. Others undo the imprisonment of a respirator, cueing you to pump your lungs yourself and tracking your heart rate on display. Aided even by a love that can develop for your pains, this self-testing becomes second nature. The curious compilation of numbers that you are becomes an aspect of your freedom, sometimes the most important, even more preoccupying than your thoughts or dreams. You discover that high numbers you can become and how immortal. You will discover what high numbers you can become and how immortal. For you, High Roller will live forever. You are eternally maintained. I'm being summoned? What's up? What's up, Sally? I want to be a sailor in another life, a big man with a beard, a tan, and a penchant for the sea. Okay. I have to be a farmer in another life and be twins who work land and sea if the universe would ever grant such kindness. Dob and sob, Don works. Okay. Are you guys good? Okay, never mind. The justification for the total scope of the responsibility to exercise is health. A further extension of the counting habits of exercise gives a precise economic character to health. It determines the anticipated numbers for the days and hours of one's life. Today, we really can preserve ourselves for a much longer time. The means of preservation are reliable and cheap. The haste to live one's mortal life diminishes. The temptation towards perpetual preservation grows. We preserve the living corpse in an optimal state, not so we may do something with it, but for its own good feelings of eternal fitness, confidence, and safety. We hoard our capital to earn interest and subsist each day on crusts of bread, but no one will inherit our good health after we've gone. The hours of life maintenance vanish with the person. The person who does not exercise in our current conception is a slow suicide. He fails to take responsibility for his life. He doesn't labor strenuously to forestall his death. Therefore, we begin to think he causes it. It may be a comfort to remember when one of your parents' acquaintances dies that he did not eat well or failed to take up running. The non-exerciser is lumped with other unfortunates whom we socially discount. Their lives are worth a percentage of our own through their own neglect. Their value is compromised by the failure to ensure the fullest term of possible physical existence. The non-exerciser joins all the unfit, the slow, the elderly, the hopeless, and the poor. Don't you want to live, we say? No answer of theirs could satisfy us. Okay, good night, Sally. Bye-bye. Until I'm looking at the horizon, I can't see the shore. Okay. Something else has gone on in my chat. This is fine. Conceive of a society in which it was believed that the senses could be used up. Eyesight worsened the more vivid sights you saw. Eyesight worsened the more vivid sights you saw. Hearing worsened the more intense sounds you heard. It would be inevitable that such a conception would bleed into people's whole pattern of life, changing the way they spent their days. Would they use up their powers in the most saturated colors, listening to the most intoxicating sounds? Or might that society's members refuse to move, eyes shut, ears covered, nursing the remaining reserves of sensation? We, too, believe our daily lives are not being lived out or used up, but eaten up unfairly by age. And we spend our time desperately upon the desperate materialist gratifications of a hedonic society, commanding immediate comfort and happiness. We engraft the desperate economics of health and chase a longer span of happiness. A longer span of happinesses deferred and comforts delayed by disposing of the better portion of our lives in life preservation. Exercise does make you, as a statistical person, part of different aggregate categories that die with less frequency at successive ages. It furnishes a gain in odds. This is the main public rationale for those billions of man and woman hours in the gym. The truth, however, is also that being healthy makes you feel radically different. For a segment of its most ardent practitioners, ardent practitioners, exercise in its contemporary form is largely quest for certain states of feeling, a more familiar phenomenon than the young person who is unhappy physically from never exercising is the young exerciser who suffers from missing 1 or 2 days of exercise. Movement is a necessity. There is everything to be said just for moving. Getting the lead out, shaking what your mama gave you, turning restlessness to motion and vitality. But exercise is not plain motion. It's more like oscillation. The most common phenomenon may be the individual who judges, in his own mind if not out loud, the total healthiness of his state at each moment, alternating satisfaction and disappointment, based on what he ate, what he drank, how much he exercised, when, with what feeling as he was doing it, and with what relation to the new recommendation or warning he just heard on the News Hours Health Report. The News Hours Health Report. One feels healthier even when the body doesn't feel discernibly different. One feels unhealthy even when the body is fine, or the body does begin to feel different, lighter, stronger, more efficient, less toxic, in ways that exceed the possible consequences of the exercises performed. But the feelings cannot last. They require more work. This may be a more important psychic medicalization of human life than anything a doctor can do with his tests. Crew chanting as we man the ship, working the sails and chasing our dreams, praying with Neptune that if we are to go below it is into deck and not the endless depths. Question, are you praying to Neptune as in the Roman version of Poseidon? Yeah, I guess Roman version of Poseidon? Or Neptune as in vaguely Neptune? Or like specifically the Roman pagan god? Pretending to be a sailor is so much fun. I see other people do it. I'm pretty sure the Romans were very scared of the sea. Maybe a farmer at first, but to be wandering artist drawing landscapes and people leaving the pieces to ones living on the land only to begin anew. Simple life, I see. Okay. Anyway, back to reading. The less respectable, but even more powerful justification for day-to-day exercise is thinness. It involves the disciplining of a depraved will rather than the righteous responsibility to maintain the health of the body machine and its fund of capital. Women strip their bodies of layers of fat to reveal a shape without its normal excess of flesh. Despite the new emphasis on female athleticism, the task of the woman exerciser remains one of emaciation. Men thin themselves too, more importantly bloat particular muscles, swelling the major clusters in the biceps, chest, and thighs, awaken an incipient musculature that no work or worldly activity could bring out like this. Theirs is a task of expansion and discovery. Women's emaciation is a source for feminine eye rolling and rueful nicknames. The social X-ray, the actress is skin and bones. Men's proud expansion and discovery of 6 muscles of the lower abdomen, reminiscent of an insect segmented exoskeleton, likewise becomes a byword and a joke. The six-pack, bringing exercise together with the masculinity of beer. Unlike the health model, which claims to make a continuous gain on morality, thinness and muscle expansion operate in a cruel economy of accelerated loss. Morality began when the first man and woman left the garden. Everyone has to die, but no one has to shape a physique, and once this body altering begins, it is more implacable than death. Every exerciser knows that the body's propensity to put on weight is the physical expression of a moral fall. Every exerciser knows that the tendency of the body to become soft when it is comfortable or at rest, instead of staying perpetually hard, is a failure of discipline. This is the taste of our new tree of knowledge. In our era of abundance, we find that nutrition makes one fat rather than well-fed, pleasures make one flabby rather than content, and only anorexics have the willpower to stop eating and die. Exercise means something other than health to a young person who conceives sexual desirability as the truth about herself most worth defending. I can read, I swear. And youth is becoming permanent, in the demand that adults keep up an outward show of juvenescence. The body itself becomes the location of sexiness rather than clothes or wit or charisma. Yet this is probably less true for society, which values personality still, than for the exerciser herself, who imagines an audience that doesn't exist. Saddest of all is the belief that an improved body will bestow bliss on the unloved. The shock troops of modern exercise are women just past the college years, only recently the beneficiary of a sexually mature body, and among our culture's few possessors by native right of the reduced body type we prefer, which we daily prefer more openly, more vehemently. The girl of 22 is a paradoxical figure, is an exemplar of exercise. She is not yet among the discounted, but she knows her destiny. She starts immediately to get ahead in the race to preserve a form that must never exceed the barest minimum of flesh. But refreshing honesty can exist among exercisers who are not yet caught up in the doctrine of health. The rising incidence of smoking among young women, which worries public health advocates, is coincident with the rising incidence of gym exercise, which doesn't. While the cigarette suppresses appetite rebelliously, the Stairmaster attacks calories obediently. Each can become intensely, erotically pleasurable, and neither is really meant for health or longevity. Brethren, on rare occasion we will see each other and share tales of our adventures, only to once again separate and start another one. Until again and never goodbye. Jeez. I'm now thinking of you guys as wandering travelers. Randomly meeting in pubs somewhere. Like taverns. And saying hello, or like is one of you will like have a house for a number of years in between adventures, and the other will come to visit for like a week or something, and you will share tales around the fire and share brew a brew of some kind and talk, and then the traveler will either the traveler will disappear or the one whose house it is will disappear and bestow the house upon the traveler. Like you just switch, and then eventually the traveler will get rid of the house and then go on adventures again. And like that's something to do but it seems like something you do in your 50s, your 60s. You go on adventures and you meet up with an old friend after years apart. Hmm. That sounds really nice. Anyway. The doctrine of thinness introduces a radical fantasy of exercise down to the bone. It admits the dream of a body unencumbered by any excess of corporeality. Thanatos enters through the door opened by Eros, and exercise flirts with the will to annihilate the unattractive body rather than to preserve its longevity. Without an accompanying ideology of health, thinness would in fact liquidate all restraints, generating a death's head vision of exercise. Health curiously returns as the only break on a practice that otherwise can become a kind of naked aggression against the body. With health in place, the aggression is more likely to be carried on psychically. It pools and starts an undercurrent of hatred for this corrupt human form that continually undoes the labor you invest in it. 120 pounds of one's own flesh starts to seem like this Sisyphean boulder. Yet the bitterness of watching your body undo your work is restrained by a curious compensation that Sisyphus did not know. If the hated body is the scene of a battle, a certain pleasure still emerges from the unending struggle. In a hedonistic order divided against its own soft luxuries, at least this pleasure, if no other, can be made to go on forever. This is too beautiful. Concept of the protagonist by the names of Sob and Dob. What are you talking about? That's perfect. What if Sob and Dob are like nicknames that they have given to each other, like their names, like, you know, strangers who meet every once in a while, who never really stop being strangers but become good friends despite it, and don't actually know each other's names but have started to refer to each other as Sob and Dob, and like they never learn each other's names, they just know these nicknames that they've bestowed upon each other. You just have to look with kindness left for your loved ones. Oh, I'm just thinking of this story, and it is such a wonderful concept of just friendship across years and across silences and across kilometers and kilometers of distance and adventures and things that the other person will never know. Like, you guys would show up and you look entirely different. Maybe you have scars, or you dress differently, or you have like new personal charms that you've gotten from somewhere, and you don't necessarily talk about it, but it's clear that there's a story just like painted on your outsides. And you might talk about it, you might talk about your adventures, but it's also just something you don't have to say, you don't have to express, because you know that the other person is doing things, going out there and having adventures. Had it down pat for real, but in this instance they're not annoying. Or maybe like a story of various Sob and Dobs where it's never the same two people, and it's never the same Sob and Dob, and they never learn each other's names, but it's just a bunch of strangers on adventures from different places, meeting and being together and finding companionship and friendship with someone in a place that you wouldn't exactly expect it, and like sharing stories and things like that, and then never seeing each other again, or maybe seeing each other again sometime in the future, but it never becoming something necessarily much more, because they both understand that it's like something, or like the adventures are something you have to do by yourself, and it's fun. Yeah, it does not matter if we never meet again, or yeah, you get it. Back to this essay about stuff we're not talking about. Strangers passing, or like ships passing in the night, or something like that. I have a pack of hot chocolate on my desk. Hot chocolate mix. But yeah, it can just be ships passing in the night, and they're important not because of how long they stayed, but for how little time you spent with them, kind of thing. This is the kind of stream I wanted. This is exactly the type of stream I wanted today. This is great. I'm having a fun time. Okay. An enigma of exercise is the proselytizing urge that comes with it. Exercisers are always eager for everyone else to share their experience. Why must others exercise if one person does? No one who plays baseball or hockey demands everyone else play the sport. Sports are social. Their victories become visible in the contemporary public arrangements of a game. Perhaps accomplishments recognized by others in the act of their occurrence can be left alone. The gym goer, on the other hand, is a solitary evangelist. He's continually knocking on your door to get you to recognize the power that will not give him peace. You too must exercise. Even as he worries for your salvation, nevertheless, he is the gleam of someone who is ahead of you already, one chosen by God. Running is most insidious because of its way of taking proselytizing out of the gym. It is a direct invasion of public space. It lays the courting, the pacing, the controlled counting, the pacing, the controlled frenzy, the familiar undergarment, outer garments, and skeletal look on top of the ordinary practice of an outdoor walk. One thing that can be said for a gym is that an implied contract links everyone who works out in its mirrored and pungent hangar. All consent to undertake separate exertions and hide any mutual regard is in a well-ordered masturbatorium. The gym is, in this sense, more polite than the narrow riverside, street, or nature path whenever runners take over shared places for themselves. With his speed and narcissistic intensity, the runner corrupts the space of walking, thinking, talking, and everyday contact. He jostles the idler out of his reverie. He places between pedestrians and conversation. Races between pedestrians and conversation. The runner can oppose sociability and solitude by publicly sweating on them. No doubt the inshareability of exercise stimulates an unusual kind of loneliness. When exercise does become truly shared and mutually visible, as in the aerobics that come close to dance, or the hardcore bodybuilding that is always erotic and fraternal, it nears sport or art and starts to reverse itself. When exercise is done in a private home or in untenanted landscapes, or without formal method, apparatus, or counting, it recovers certain eccentric freedoms of private techniques of the self. You could be dancing. However, the pure category of marked exercise is concerned not with the creative process of reproduction, as in activities in common, or the pure discoveries of solitude, as in private eccentricity. It pursues an idea of replication. Replication in exercise recreates the shape and capabilities of others in the material of your own body, without new invention and without exchange with others or crossing over of material between selves. It is a puzzling question, in fact, whether you and your body are the same in exercise. If, on the one hand, exercise seems strongly to identify exercisers with their bodies by putting them to shared labor, on the other, if on the one hand, exercise seems strongly identify exercise with their bodies by putting them to shared labor. On the other hand, it seems to estrange them from the bodies they must care for and manage. Where does fitness actually reside? It seems to be deep inside you, yet that inside has risen to a changeable surface, and this surface is no longer one you can take off, as you did a costume in earlier methods of improving your allure. Fashion historians point out that women free themselves from corsets worn externally, only to make an internal corset, as they tone the muscles of the abdomen and chest and dieted and exercise to burn away permanently the well-fed body that whalebone stays temporarily restrained. That's, well, not quite correct, but whatever. Anyway, though the exerciser acts on himself, this self becomes even more identified with the visible surface. Though he works on his body, replication makes it ever more, so to speak, anybody. The exerciser conforms in a most virulent practice of conformism, but exercise itself pushes the norms of medicine and sexual allure towards further extremes. The feedback does not stabilize the system, but radicalizes it year by year. Only in a gym culture does being overweight become the second leading cause of death, as the news reported this spring, rather than a correlation, a relative measure, which positively co-varies with the heart attacks, the cancers, the organ failures, and final illnesses that were formerly our killers. Only in a gym culture do physical traits that were formerly considered repellent become marks of sexual superiority. We are hot now for the annihilation by exercise and dieting of once voluptuous feminine flesh, watching it be starved away in natural form and selectively replaced with breast implants, collagen injections, buttock lifts. We've learned to be aroused by the ripped, vein-popping muscles that make incredible hulks of men who actually push papers. Because health and sex are the places we demand our truth today, newly minted ideals must be promulgated as discoveries of medical science or revelations of permanent evolutionary human desires. The technical capabilities of gym exercise drive the social ideals and demands. Does this critique imply a hatred of the body? On the contrary, the ethos of gym exercise annihilates the margin of safety that humans have when they relate to their own bodies. Men and women seem more ashamed of their own actual bodies in the present environment of biological exposure than in a pre-gym past. An era of exercise has brought more obsession and self-hatred rather than less. A feminist worry becomes important. It is certainly possible to make people used to displaying to others' eyes the biological process of transformation, and this has been, at times, the aim of feminists, who intended to attack a patriarchy that vilified the natural body or that made biological processes a source of shame and inferiority. The form of exposure that have recently risen are not in line with feminist liberation of the unconditioned body. Patriarchy made biology a negative spectacle, a filth that had to be hidden. The ethos of exercise makes it a positive spectacle, competitive fascination that must be revealed. The rhetoric of loving the body can thus be misused. With the extension of the cliche that one should not be ashamed of the body, people are less able to defend themselves against the prospect that their actual bodies and biological processes may be manifest at every moment, in new states of disciplining, neither public nor private. It becomes retrogression, a moral failing in these people to wish to defend against exposure or to withdraw their health, bodies, arousal, and self-regulation from the social scene, as if privacy of this kind were mere prudery or repression. Once subjected to the socialization of biological processes, the body suffers a new humiliation no longer rooted in the distinctions between the revealed and the hidden, the natural and the shameful, the sexual ideal and the physical actuality, but the deeper crime of merely existing as the unregulated, the unshaped, the unsexy, the unfit. Our practices are turning us inside out. Our hidden flesh becomes our public front. The private medical truth of bodily health becomes our psychic self-regard. Action in public before strangers and acquaintances loses its center of gravity in the lived experience of the citizen and is replaced by the activity of exercise in public, as speech gives way to biological spectacle. Your exercise confers superiority in two contests, one of longevity and the other of sex. Facing morality, the gym-goer believes himself an agent of health, whereas he makes himself a more perfect patient. Facing the sexual struggle, gym-goer labors to attain a positive advantage, which spurs an ever-receding horizon of further competition. The consequences are not only the flooding of consciousness with a numbered and regulated body, or the distraction from living that comes with endless life maintenance, but the liquidation of a sense of the public and what can be made collectively in public, along with the last untouched spheres of privacy, such that biological life, good and bad, will be always seen in all locations and all we have. You are condemned, you are condemned, you are condemned. This is the chant the machines make with their grinding rhythm inside the roar of the gym floor. Once upon a time, the authority of health and the display of our bodies and biological processes seemed benign, even liberating. But We were going to overcome illness. We were going to exercise the British Victorians. But our arrows returned from their targets, and some of them punctured our privacy. The thinness we strive for becomes spiritual. This is not the future we wanted. That prickling beneath exerciser's skin as he steps off the treadmill is only his new self, his reduced existence, scratching the truth of who he is now from the inside out. And that's an essay from 2004. A lot of these essays are, like, early 2000s, I'm pretty sure. I have to read this again, or I have to read the rest of this. I didn't get through the entire thing. I fully forgot about this. I have that trunk full of books that I keep forgetting to read. There's a lot of stuff in here that's like, yeah, I should think about that. That's fun to think about. Anyway, I'm done with that. I don't feel like playing anymore, so we're gonna call it a night. If anyone is still here. If you're still here, give me a hey. Or a shout of some kind, please. Otherwise, it will assume I am alone. Alright, we're assuming I'm alone. I enjoyed reading that. I should read more things for book club. But yeah. I don't feel like playing anymore, and I just read the entire essay, so we're gonna call it a night. If you are here somehow, thank you for coming. If you have stayed somehow, thank you so much for staying. This has been fun. I'll see you next week for Animal Jam. But yeah, good night. Good night. Good night. Good night. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.